So in this pod, as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spines that travel from one end to the other. So for our demo, I have cut from the spool of wire 5 spines. And I've also cut the circles that are on either end of the pod. So in order for me to be able to sew onto this wire without it slipping all over the place and without having these ends of the wires poke through the fabric, I use floral tape. And I wrap it around, all the way around, but particularly on these ends to make sure that it's seamless. And floral tape is a wonderful substance once you get used to it. Break off a piece of the floral wire first. And then wrap it around the wire like this. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm gently stretching it. It makes it sticky when you do that, and it sticks really well to itself. And this is the join that I want to make sure becomes seamless. And it's still sticking out a little bit. So I'm going to go backwards. So it has 2 layers, and then forwards. So now it has 3 layers, and that's pretty well protected. And I'm going to continue doing this all the way around. Now here you can see the completed circle, the wire, and the ends are seamless, and I got the coverage of the tape all the way around. My second one I started, and because I only like to cut off a little bit of tape at a time, I didn't get all the way around. And that's totally fine. What we'll do is cut another length of tape, and it ends right there. So there's still some sticky tape right there. I'm going to start it on top of where the last piece of tape was before and continue until I come around and finish it here. So let me finish this, and then I will show you how I attach the spines. The 2 circles are covered in wire, and I took one of my lengths here for the spine and attached it. So this is what we're going to do all the way around, and I'll show you how I attach this now. I like to be a little bit efficient. You know, you can see up here, I bent the wire over the circle and tucked it in. And, you know, it's a little bit of annoyance. So I like to cut the wire, double the width, double the length I need so that I can fold it in half and make it a little bit easier on one end. And then on this end, I just bend it over. So I'll just show you. So I'm going to take this wire, fold it relatively in half. It helps to have a needle nose pliers, see? So I can just bend that like that because, you know, my hands aren't as strong as they used to be. And why stress them? So here's the end. I'm going to take my halved wire and jam it on there. And then I'm going to go to the other side. You see the spine. And I'm going to bend it over. Whoops. I'll bend it first. probably a good idea. And then it's relatively in position. This is where I could use this third pair of hands. I'm using the needle nose pliers to squeeze it shut and to bring the wires up close. We are going to do some fiddling for shape once we get all the spines attached. But right now, you can see we have, whoops, that one came off. Those two spines are attached. I'm going to attach all 5 of them before I start wrapping the floral tape around them. So here we have it, sort of like a lantern, right? Each one, you know, decides on its own what it wants to be, and then you'll see how it transforms even more when we add fiber to it, fabric. So each of these spines, attached at each end, different size circles on either side. I can do anything I want at this point, but first, you know, in terms of shaping it, but I'm going to go ahead with the floral tape because it's very fiddly, and once I get the floral tape on it and secure it, it's not going to move around, and that will help when I want to sew the fabric onto it and maybe, you know, fine-tune the shape and things like that. So the process is the same. Take a little bit of tape, and the one that's most fiddly for me right now is this one. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it. So I find like one of the best ways to work on intersections like this is to start at one kitty corner over here and wrap it to so it's bottom right to top left. And then again, this is so small, it's a little fiddly, but so you can see how it's attaching. So now I'm going to go to bottom left to top right, and then up and around, and then around here. So I'm going to spend a lot of time with this piece of tape to make sure that that is secure. And that's not moving. I mean, it's moving here because I haven't secured this, but it's not moving up there. So I'm going to finish this tape off. Then break off another piece of tape, start at this end, and come up this way. Oh, some of the tape came off there, maybe from me rubbing it, so I'll have to fix that. So since this is the fiddly part that's moving an awful lot and I want to make sure I keep it where I want it, I'll do that one next. See, it's so fiddly, it slipped. So now it's time for me to go to the other side and bring it over, secure it around, come back over kitty corner and over, secure it around. Now, you know, I'm giving you suggestions on, you know, how to approach putting on the tape and things to think about, but everybody has their own method. So just because I say do kitty corner doesn't mean you have to do kitty corner. But that's what I have, for me, found. That see how that's not moving anywhere. So now I can add another piece of tape and finish off this. nice and stuck and secure. A little stretch to the tape as I wrap it around. There we have the first one. So I'm going to continue all the way around until the whole thing is covered with floral tape. Then the next video will be about how to sew on your panels. So if you don't want to use the steel wire, or you cannot find it or whatever, and you prefer to use this paper covered wire, this is a little bit softer in terms of its gauge, but you can get it even stiffer. Then this actually can make your job a little bit easier in that you don't have to cover everything. In this case, hopefully you could see it, this circle, I only covered where the ends of the wires were hanging. And then you see, it's too bad it's green tape and green wire, but you can see over here the wire's covered with the paper and the ends are taken care of over here, so I didn't need to cover that. I cut the lengths and halved them like I did with the first one, and you can see there they're bent for one end, and then over here they're sort of bent over in a hook and tightened over the ring. I will secure these ends with tape the way I did with this one. The difference is I only have to worry about securing the ends. I don't have to worry about covering every aspect of it as if it were just naked wire.